True.
Because some things you just don't even really think about until you have a conversation with somebody, or if you say it out loud.
You want to know one thing that I realize that the boys don't really talk about a lot, which is kind of shocking to me, given how TV is. And I'm putting this in quotes. The gay agenda, it's not really a thing there. Quotes. I'm putting it in quotes. It's not really there. I'm not saying there's a gay agenda. I'm just saying that's how people say it in society. Gay agenda. Yeah, so, I'm just saying they don't really put a lot of emphasis on that.
You're right, because the only gay character that was like in the forefront was Meave, and like they don't really conform to the quote unquote gay agenda, and I will agree to that.
I think Meave is a tragic character. The thing about Meave, why I think she's such a great character as far as her character arc goes, we went from her being in the situation that Starlight is in, and we watched her, like you said, she was gay. Homelander was forcing himself on her, seems like. Did they ever actually show a scene where he was like forcing her to do sexual things?
No, not necessarily. Yeah, I don't think, from what I remember seeing a scene of him forcing herself on her, like on a sexual manner. But
they were in a relationship before the show started.
Yeah, and then they definitely showed a few scenes of like him trying to beef up that intimidation factor.
Yeah.
On her, but like it never was like him taking her or anything like that.
But you could tell whatever abusive relationship that they have, and they don't necessarily have to be physical. It was probably more so of a mental. I'm not saying sexual assault and things didn't happen in his homeland. It probably did.
Right.
But it was definitely more on a mental thing, and it took a toll on her. And you can see her going from this bravado of, I'm the Wonder Woman of this team. I am great. It's a lot of the characters go through this. It's like we have this big front up where I feel like great. When people see me, I'm inspiring. But then when you start peeling back the layers and seeing the behind the scenes, you see that they're really troubled characters, and they're dealing with their own shit. And I think Meave is my favorite of the stories because you see her doing what most women have to do, is put on that strong face in the outside world and act like things are great, hiding my actual relationship, because if you see my real relationship, then my ratings will drop. People won't love me as much. I lose power. The little power I do have in this group, I will lose that power, lose that influence. And I think her character is the perfect representation of that show. Mm-hmm. She doesn't get a lot of time on the screen because I don't know what could be there outside of that. But you can see her like the impact of everything she's been through when you see her and Starlight in the scene together. Starlight's like, yo, I need advice on how to handle this. And she's like, okay, you see me getting ready. I'm preparing myself for war. Like, that's what a lot of women have to go through when they get ready to get up in the morning and go to work. They're like, I'm preparing for war. Like, it's facts. I gotta make sure I'm perfect. I gotta make sure I say everything perfect. I gotta make sure I hide my true intentions. If I want to move up in the world, I gotta make sure you don't know that I want to move up in the world, right? So that when you won't undercut me, you won't stop me, and then when it happens and I'm ready and fully prepared, I've done all my training. Now I'm ready to make my move, and when I make my move, that move is gonna be perfect. And it's going to be less of a chance of failure because I have prepared. And I think that's why her character is so perfect. That is the perfect critique, from my point of view, of a woman in everyday life at her job that she hates going to.
And I agree. I will agree. And they hit that nail on the head for sure. And I just thought about this. Maybe they don't conform to the gay agenda, quote unquote, because there's no real gay agenda, there's no real gay agenda, so they don't conform to that. But you know what they do push? Sexual assault.
Yep.
Racism. Heavy on racism.
Ooh, very
heavy on the racism. And classism.
Yep. And
So I feel like they really definitely like hit the nail on the head with a lot of real life issues. There's no such thing as a gay. Me personally, I've always felt like there's no such thing as a gay agenda. Gay been around forever. Gay been around forever.
Like most of the major societies, if you listen to any history, watch any history show, they really didn't give a damn about who the hell they were sticking and taking from what. They didn't care. They really didn't.
They said that it was a black agenda back in the 80s when they started giving our people more like positions in media.
Yeah,
they thought it was a black agenda. Black been here forever.
it's always an agenda. They're taking over.
It's always an agenda. It's no agenda. It's just inclusion.
Inclusion.
That's
absolutely. Absolutely. You ready to switch gears? Because I think we've talked like 40-something minutes. It's probably going to be shorter for a lot of... You said no? Yeah. You got offered to say you got more to talk about on the boys?
I definitely about to watch it from season 1, episode 1 now, though, just to see... Because sometimes when you rewatch things, of course, you're going to pick up stuff that you didn't realize when you first watched it.
Facts.
So I definitely want to rewatch it from the first season 1, episode 1 for sure.
All right, before we move on, last question. So now that we had this conversation, do you think the boys impact society, or does society impact the boys?
Society impacts the boys, for sure.
All right, and we're going to put a nail in that conversation because we want to talk about, speaking of no gay agenda, let's talk about Tevin Campbell. Can we? I ain't going to finish that because I don't want to get in trouble. No, that's what he's supposed to. Copyright. All right, Space Gang. That's our show for today.
Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments below or wherever you're listening to us.
Do us a favor and head over to www.thebkspadeshow.com. That's space with a Z. You can get all the blogs, the audio, the video, and some really cool merch.
And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us that 5-star rating and YouTube. Like, comment, share, and subscribe
to the BK Spadez Show, where society meets pop culture. I am your host, the BK Spadez, here with my very lovely co-host,
Novacaine, baby.
All right, Space Gang, thanks for tuning in.